Welcome to Three Guys Making Comics, the podcast where we go over the pros and cons of creating comic books. I'm David Omar Lopez. I'm a comic book artist.
Nice.
So my name is Lech Kaminski, and I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I struggle and do what I can.
Nice. Hi, I'm ALberto Doriguzzi. I'm a comic artist, or some kind of night comic artist from Italy. And I'm also making my project, and I will share you my stuff I made this week. So, okay. I think you can see it, right, guys?
Perfect.
So here I'm making this new comic, which is called Rocket Golf. Even if no one is knowing the name, only my friends here. And I'm currently, it's a science fiction story with golf on it and aliens, which is cool, of course. So here are the pages I've made this month, and I'm currently on the number 10, which is this one that I finished yesterday. I have all pencils page completed, but I'm on the inking phase, and I'm trying to find a style because I'm not very good with inking and with brush. I mean, I'm just more confident now, but it's hard to find a style and making things pop out from the page. I'm using also zipper tones because I have older ones, and I like to take time and cut zipper tones on my pages. And also I'm adding some gray tones with the Ecoline, which are liquid color light ink, and I use just to put water on the black and make these gray tones on it, because I think it's nice to see the page with more gray on it. The comic will be on black and white, by the way. And here it's on Comics Flow. It's an app for managing your deadlines. And as you can see, my idea was to finish it on the end of March, but I'm a bit late. And it says for my pages, I need to finish 2 pages per day now if I want to make it for the 29th of March, which I'm not sure I will make it, but we will see. Now I'm working on the page 11, which is only on pencils, and I'm working on paper, not digital. I like to work on digital, but my idea for this project was to make pages on paper. Try to challenge myself because I like to also use ink, and I love to draw on digital, but I wanted to have a page for one time for my first real phone is calling, police is calling. I wanted to have a real pages which I can also sell one day. That was my idea. So yes, that's my stuff. What about you guys? Let me stop the sharing. Okay.
David, do you want to go?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Alberto. It's always interesting to see
Thank
how
you.
you're working. On the other hand, I'm working digitally. Like everyone else, I would love to work on paper, but I'm trying to speed up my process a bit, and digital does help in that respect. So I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. Let's see.
And first of all, I want to talk about the app that we're using. Alberto mentioned
Okay.
we're using Comics Flow. It's the perfect app to organize and schedule your creative workflow, shaped to be capable of handling all your pages for any comic, big or small. So take a look at it if you have a chance. And on Comic Flow, I have a story here I'm working on. So we're working on a story that currently has no title, so it's a fantasy story. This is page 3. As you can see, this page is already on my Substack or any of my socials,
Okay.
and this was the beginning stages of it. I did have to redo a lot of elements because composition-wise, it wasn't working quite well. I did love the initial panel, which is the army of the undead here. You can't go wrong with that. It's just pretty much go crazy with that. So I really did love that panel. We did start having some issues. I did start having issues here because storytelling wise, the skeleton army is looking, if you saw the page before this, they're looking up at the hero, our protagonist. But at a certain point, we see them jump up from the side of him. He's facing down at the crowd. They're facing up at him. So for now, storytelling wise, it might have been clear to do it another way, but I felt this composition was stronger to get a good view of our protagonist. And I went ahead and did the skeletons jumping from the side, sort of a sneak attack, as you might say. The
Excellent.
biggest problem here was that my initial thought process for the big panel, which would be the huge panel that hopefully people would really react to, was that it was pretty boring just the way it was. It's pretty much a profile shot of all the body where he's hitting one of the skeletons, but it doesn't really show much action or impact. It pretty much just shows him raising his sword up a bit, and then the skeleton would shatter. So for the team, which you see in this podcast, I pretty much said help because I was trying to just figure out how to make this work. But if we look at the final that you see on my socials, you'll start seeing that I totally just decided to change stuff around and make it much more impactful. So now you can see there in the transparency how I changed a couple of elements on the two different panels, especially on the last one. And we'll flip to the last page. So as you can see, uh, I changed a bit of I left two of the skeletons as is, but the main one kind of cuts through the panel here. And you can see he's forward because he will be the one that gets damaged in the last panel. And in the last panel, um, even though the movement, I'm not 100% great with it, I think the elements of putting speed lines and some texture there, and just the fact that the eye focuses on the skeleton here, was a not the greatest solution, but a solution that worked for me at the time. And and you can see, we'll just do before I hand it over, we can do a quick compare. You can see that these guys were kind of moved around. And again, the best part about digital was that even though it's still a little bit harder to kind of redraw things, you can kind of move elements around. Like these were just moved a little. This was completely redone, and we get this one here. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about for this week's kind of problem areas and how I tried my best to fix them.
It's great, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
Right, now my turn. Share entire screen. Oh,
No problem.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, can I close this?
Yes, you can. You can just press on the X. Yes, preview.
So now we're gonna do the preview. Obviously, it's not the entire comic book, just a thing that I was working on last week. And weirdly, the black and whites work better than the colors. Oh, and also that grass is hand drawn. It's not like automatically drawn by some kind of magic filter or something. But yes, admittedly, it may look like it's some kind of automated technique, but no, it's just drawn. So I came up with this idea of a grandpa and the grandson, like hiding in bushes, just before infiltrating a village. I don't know. It might be that I will make it an actual comic book, and that will end up being kinda the first page. But as you can see, I'm still struggling with the quality, especially of this panel. Now, Alberto has already helped me with the eyes. I mean, you can't see that, but these eyes will be changed, and possibly this whole panel will be changed. However, I am happy with the first panel, with the second panel, and what I have learned is that if I create a separate image and then paste it in as a panel, then after scaling it down, it kind of doesn't fit in terms of the width of the pencil or pen. So these lines are way thinner than all the others. But I'm not gonna redo the whole thing, so it is what it is. Like, I'm happy it's done, and honestly, I prefer the more colorful version than the less colorful. But I can imagine that someone might actually dislike it. But whatever, I'm here to learn as well. That's all.
Yes, the mantra is always finished, not perfect, right?
Oh,
Because
definitely.
yes, yes, yes. The point of our podcast here is just to meet and to speak about our pros and cons, as David said, and understanding what you are making right and learning each other how to make things better. Maybe also easier sometimes because making comics is just a pain.
The pain of making comics is the fact that, like Lex showed us, either direction works really well and can attract audiences or readers from various kind of perspectives. But as a comic book artist, the hardest part is when to call it done and when to let it go and let the audience make their own decisions, and hopefully you choose the right one.
Yes.
And I mean that's the constant struggle of doing
Yeah.
these pages.
The internal struggle.
Internal struggle.
Right.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But great work, guys.
Thank you, thank you. You too.
Cheers.
Yeah, let's go. And we are always with coffee and drink, not alcohol.
So this was kind of our once go around to see how we can get this setup going and share some of our work with you all. Again, you can reach us at our Substack. There's the links to our personal profiles where you can directly contact us, let us know how we can improve the podcast. And we appreciate you taking the last 5 minutes and hearing us talk craft.
Exactly. I agree. Yes. And every week we will just meet. So every week, if everything goes as planned, we will make a new video. So stay tuned and follow us. Exactly.
And what is it, Alberto? Love your pets. Like the video and be
Exactly.
nice
Love
to
your
your
pets and read more comics also. Maybe ours when we are ready.
read more and make more comics. We need them.
Exactly. That's the point. Okay then.
Okay, good stuff.
I
See ya.
stopped and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.